Someone has not adjusted the deck, which is a problem. But not too much of a problem. All I need to do is find the right slot here, not to be too intimate, don't worry about it. And then, in a few seconds, we'll be ready to go. 1 second here. The slot has been found. Here we go. And there we go. Brilliant. Okay, we've begun now. Yep, that's great. Someone did not change the deck back as it should have done, but that's okay. No worries. I also need to duck down and put the mouse back in. No, I don't need to do that. It's fine. Hello. Um, how are you doing? How's everyone going? Yeah, this is the Monday one that I do where we talk about War Thunder for a bit with some tea, bit of Earl Grey today. Um, so I'm quite looking forward to that. Usually don't have Earl Grey. It's mostly just sort of a bit of breakfast, like low quality breakfast, but you know, we'll see how it goes. Someone's been watching Utopia. I haven't watched Utopia in about 5 years, but I just remembered that it exists and put it on there as the little thing. I love Utopia though. I have every soundtrack on vinyl, and I know the sister of the guy that played Grant as well, so that's quite fun. Hello, how's it all going? Yes. And what advice are you going to give us, Oxy? Well, I mean, it's mostly what you would like, basically. This stream is mostly just sort of if you have any questions about the game or any advice about how to use a certain vehicle, premium to buy, how to play a certain thing, I can try and assist because I have spent a terrible amount of time in this game and know about most of it. Not all of it, but most of it. The only areas that I don't really play too much of are the absolute top tier. But I'm well versed in everything else. If I can assist, I will do my best. I'm also a bit sort of dehydrated today, so give me a while to sort of warm up, I suppose. Hello, Sharky. How are you? And odd, yeah, dude. Like the vinyls used to be really expensive. They were like 120 like pounds to get one, but then I think on Discogs someone was selling like a batch of them for like £30. Snapped that up instantly. Very nice. I was very well happy with that. Um, yes. I also need to keep switching the mouse around because we only have one right now. Um, that's okay for the time being. Yes. Um, this stream never stays on topic of War Thunder ever. Correct, it never does. We're usually on topic for about an hour and 10 minutes, and then it just goes off the rails into, the wilderness, as it were. So, yeah, we've got a good hour if you want to get some good advice in, and then it's just going to completely disintegrate. So, we'll see how that goes, I suppose. Cristobal, yes. Peak. I'm following him on YouTube actually. He's got some really good experimental stuff going on. I also need to change my phone to important messages. And there we go. Very cool. Now we are ready. Hi, Ohm, how are you? My eyes also aren't working. 1 second. Okay. Please say how to play Tiger 2H. Well, there's not really a lot to it. Apart from, I guess, what I hasten to say, the obvious. The main thing to keep in mind with the Tiger 2H is that the turret corners are rounded. And because they're rounded, it means that if an enemy has a slight angle on you, slightly, they can get through the armor as the angle will normalize towards where they are. And because of that, it makes it quite difficult to engage enemies that aren't directly in front of you. So the one thing to keep in mind really is to make sure that whatever you are engaging is directly in front of you. Because if they are even a few degrees at your side, if you're fighting like an IS-2 or Pershing, etc., they can quite easily cut through the side of the turret. Even though the tracks are there, it doesn't really happen to provide much protection. So the main thing to really keep alive is to make sure that you are engaging enemies from the direct front. You can, of course, it depends on your ping roughly. You can move the turret slightly to throw the aim off, like so wiggling it from side to side. That can work as well. But it depends on well, it's somewhat ping dependent because of the relationship between what you're doing and what the server's relaying. It can be consistent, it can be quite inconsistent, but that can work reasonably well. Um, you don't want to show much of the turret if possible at all. Um, Generally, you want to keep the hull angled, not really to increase the armor, but because of the defensive maneuvering that it can allow you. Um, One of the benefits of a tank with good armor like that is that you can make use of the reaction time window. So if an enemy is aiming at you, you can angle slightly and drive forwards and backwards, because this will change the angle basically of, well, to word that in a way that's more valid, I guess, is that if you angle and maneuver, it changes the values of your armor more substantially than if you were to uh, be pointing directly forwards. Because if you point forwards and you drive forwards and backwards, your position is changing, but the effectiveness of your armor isn't. And if you change your angle and then maneuver, it basically means that relative to the enemy, your strong points and weaknesses um, consistently change, basically. So it keeps your armor more vague in terms of the strengths and weaknesses and the points, and that really helps your survivability even further. So that's what I would do. And also, if you do keep angled, you can um, bounce early heat, or at least non-pen early heat. So like the type the T92 fires and that kind of thing. So it can help a little bit anyway. Apart from that, it's just your positioning, map knowledge, shot placement. But if you can keep that in mind, that's chiefly the way to stay alive the longest in the KTH, I would say. Um, uh, New shop stock. I have a huge amount of stock for the shop, but I can't run it at the moment because I have no distributor for frames in Germany. There's no one that basically will ship the quality and price that I look for. If any of you know a frame distributor that can ship to Germany, let me know. I can give you a finder's fee. I'm not even joking. I've tried to pay my German colleagues to help me find a supplier for frames, and they won't do it. So yeah, if you can help, I'll give you, don't know, something maybe. We'll see. Um, okay, let me put on some background footage. Maybe we can go for planes today. That's what I'm thinking. Let's do that. And this one. Okay, I need to change my mouse, so 1 second. Okay, now I can actually look through the chats. Very nice. I can scroll up and see all the messages I've missed. Very cool. And a bit of planes in the background for the time being. Okay, very cool. What vehicles do you want in future updates? I don't really have any specifics for things that I want more than anything else, I guess. I mostly just prefer weird stuff. So things that make you play the game in a different way I really like. Um, so one thing I really want, and I've wanted for the longest time, is the Defiant, because no forward-facing guns and a quad 303 turret on the back, and I like that because it would mean you need to play the vehicle differently to basically anything else, and things like that. Excuse me, things like that I like. So yeah, anything like that, anything that's a bit different, a bit weird, makes you play the game differently. I'm all for that in any respect. Um, okay. Why Germany suffers? It doesn't. It's a very easy talking point to go for, I guess, but it has basically no validity whatsoever. Hey Oxy, how to gunner? Cause silver lines? I'm not sure what you mean. Can you clarify, please? My brain is too small. Um, Please, when will Russian bias end? Please, I'm worried. There is no such thing. I'm afraid. We want more Koppen. I want more Koppen, and we will get more soon. I hope. Although we are in sort of home office now, chiefly, so he's back in his hometown. So he might be away until we can get him a place to stay here. But we will get more Koppen. Absolutely can confirm that as a promise. Hello? No. It looked like someone tried to open the door and gave up halfway through. I think we're fine. Like how to aim with it. It really depends on the gun. but it can be quite difficult to get into. Um, what I generally do, I guess, is well, it's hard to explain this point because it depends almost entirely on what you're using. But I usually aim a little bit above the plane, um, and that seems to work reasonably well. Um, but apart from that, it really depends on the specifics on the gun that you want to use and that kind of thing. Because apart from that, there's little to kind of go for it, and then it also kind of depends on well where the gunners are. B-17 Elite, yeah. So generally, you want to make sure at a sort of peak angle the enemy is above and behind you, because that way you've got 450 cals that can train on them, and that's the main thing to keep in mind with that. So if an enemy is coming in, try and angle yourself upwards or at a slight bank, and that way you can actually make sure that you do have the most efficient turrets pointed at them. And for that, I think that's probably what I'd recommend. But even so, below or above, you have four turrets to train on them. Well, four guns effectively to train on them, which is the most important thing. And I would probably try to aim. Well, I like to aim above them. I think aiming above helps me get the aim down a bit more easily. It sort of goes right into the pilot, and that's mostly what I keep in mind. But I haven't played bombers for a reasonably long time, so I can't really give too much advice on that one. But yeah, I'd probably just say make sure you're keeping your effective angle towards them. If an enemy's coming in at your side, try and move away so you've got the back turrets on them, and aim above. Or even play the mission editor and get some AI on, and then you can sort of attack them there, and that can kind of work quite nicely as well for some practice. That's what I used to do. I think back when I was playing the B-24 like 8 years ago is what I did, and that worked quite well. So maybe give that a try if you can. Stimky cheese? Correct. Ione, you are correct. No fancy jumper this time? Sharky. Sharky, this is a fancy jumper. Let me show you. Bit of a whale. Got a whale on it. And the best thing, look at this. I'm so excited for this. Yeah. Shuffle around. It's got a little whale tail. How about that? It's got an actual tail. And that I'm so excited about. I didn't know it had that. When I bought it, I just thought, it's, a nice little jumper. Got a tail on it. I've always wanted that, and so I'm really excited about all that. I really like whales and sharks. I don't know why. They're just quite... Smeagol, no, shush. I knew someone was going to say that. I knew someone was going to say that. I'm not surprised it's you. No, I don't know. I like it. I think it's quite cute. Yeah, it's not fur. It's sort of... What's the name for a furry who's not furry? I don't know. You'll have to let me know about that. Edward, can we not? Please. Smeagol, please, no bully. Oh, bless. Um, yes. Mascot? I don't know. It could be a mascot. Whale tail, huh? Anything? I'm not like a whale furry, if that's what. What's the term for like if you're not? Are there many like fish related furries? I have no idea. This is quite interesting now. Although let's talk about War Thunder and leave that until the end. Otherwise, we're going to go well off the rails. No worries, Edward. I'm only joking. Don't worry. Um, hello, gentlemen and ellipses. Hello. Scaly or slimy? Let's go with that. That works. Fishes don't have fur. That's kind of true. I think there's a couple of species of fish that do have fur. I think there's a particular species of salmon that has it. I think, but I can't remember the particulars. Yes. Do you think that I could use the BMP1 as a backup for my T55 AM1? Yes, but I would play it quite conservatively. Um, Chiefly something like that. Well, at the BR, you are going to be engaging with thermals and stabilizers. The BMP doesn't work very well in that environment, so I would definitely try and hang back and rely mostly on the Conker's ATGM if you have it, the wire guided one with the mouse, and that one basically lets you engage from very far away, and that's what I would aim to do if you are using it as a backup. Because at close range, you've got the reload and penetration, but the lack of stabilizer and the fact that you can't fire the ATGM on the move can be kind of difficult. So playing a bit more conservatively in the background, I think, is probably the way to go. That's how I use it anyway. I mean, it seems to work relatively well for what it is, and that's what I would chiefly go for if I were you, anyway. Okay. Yes. Furry whale. Yeah. Yeah. Why do you have two War Thunder accounts? One's private, one's for work. Are you a dev or do you only post videos on the channel? I do neither of those things. I work. Why am I glowing so much today? Someone messed with the white balance on these cameras at some point, and now I look like a don't know worse than usual. Apologies for that. No, mostly I work in marketing and that kind of area, and there's lots of things to do in that area, which is quite fun. So yeah, I'm not a developer. I can talk to them and sort of trade ideas and that kind of thing, but I'm not actually, I don't actively put things in the game. He is Jesus, furry whale of Jesus. Brand new sentence. Well done. I like that. Excellent. Um, Talking of fur and whale, the pink freshwater dolphin in the Amazon rain. Yeah, they do have little feelers for a lot of the Amazon adapted species do for getting through the like channels and stuff. So yeah, they're quite cool actually. I'm a fan of all that. You look like a goth vampire, Oxy. How do you look like a not goth vampire in that? Do they have like pastel vampires now? I've got no idea. I'm not really that into all that kind of thing. But by all means, let me know. Um, how to cope while playing War Thunder? What do you mean, the ambitious jet? Enlighten me with your perception. Okay, okay, man. Furry is good. Are there more small nations coming? Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. Have you ever seen a hacker in War Thunder before? Yes. Mustache is fur? Sure. I don't know what you mean. How old are you? I don't know. 20 something probably. Or 30. I'm not sure. One of them. Um, is the MiG 19S worth using? Yes. Really good jet. One of my favorites, actually. I don't play jets very much, but I really do enjoy it. Very versatile jet. Well, for what it is, not in terms of its sort of missiles, lol. But in terms of its ability to fight certain vehicles with energy fighting and some with actual maneuvers, it's pretty good at fighting anything really. And I quite like it for that, although I don't really use it too much. Fix your hair? No, like I will say this to you now. Please do not let yourself be upset by my hair. It's okay. It's really okay. And I mean, there's no value in letting yourself be so emotionally invested in this. You can just let go. It's so easy. And if you can do that for me, I'll be so proud of you. You know, rooting for you right now. How do you play the 75 Jumbo Sherman? The gun can't pen Tiger 2s even from the side. It can do that. It definitely can do that. It can even kill them from the front if you're close enough. There's a huge amount of, I guess, talking points that go into it. I do have a video, and I hate really shilling myself, I guess, but there's a video that I have on my channel, and there's about a 10-minute segment on how to use the 75 Jumbo, and it works. It works well. For what it is, the Jumbo is an incredible vehicle. The 76 and the 75 are both hugely performing vehicles. I really like them. For the Jumbo, chiefly the main way to play it, if you're engaging something you can't penetrate from the front reliably, is to main gun the barrel. You have a short stop stabilizer, and that works incredibly well at doing that. And then 50 caling the track, because 50 cals are incredibly good at destroying tracks. And if you can knock out their ability to fire and move, you can basically pick them off at your leisure, really. So that works really well, and that's mostly the way that I intend to, well, play it. You can knock out KTPs from the front in the same way. Shoot the barrel, shoot the track, APCR through the front of the turret face. Um, and then, if you don't have APCR, you can by all means barrel track, flank to the side. You can get right through. The gun can easily get through at close range. But if in doubt, go for the barrel. You can do this really easily with a stabilizer, and that's the main thing to keep in mind while you play. I could talk for about 10 minutes on it, but I would look at the video if you want. It's you can look on my channel, obviously only if you want to. But there's a big segment on it there, and hopefully it can help a little bit. Your hair is nice. No, it isn't. But thank you. Jumbos would have a lower BR if they were German. That is very funny. Thank you for that. You look beautiful today. I can't accept that, but I appreciate you saying it all the same. Oxy, please answer. Is the matchmaker in any way prejudiced when activating boosters? No, it isn't. I know quite well how the matchmaker works, and there's no, secret code that up tiers you while using a booster. I've never really I've never really understood this talking point really, because it's if you're using a booster, you want it to work, so people would use more of them surely. So why would you make it so whenever people activate a booster, you get a bad result? That would stop people from using them. It's a strange talking point for me, but no, there's nothing in it. And as Flapjack says, it's confirmation bias. You will remember the instances where it doesn't work rather than the instance where it does. And yeah, it's not really something to consider really. But she said, I do look presentable. You are talking about something that's abstract and vague. In that, if I were to have shorter hair, it would change nothing. I'm sorry that your perception is not the same as mine. That's all I really have to say about that. Please wear a green shirt for the next stream. Maybe I could do one, but people would just make YouTube shorts about me, and I would rather jump off a plane. So probably not going to do that, but I might. We'll see. The LA5 at 3.0 is fun. Yeah, I really like the LA5. Even though it's not really the most, I guess, the main thing is the engine is not great. I mean, the engine overheats a fair bit, but in any case, it's a very powerful hybrid fighter, and I like it a lot. I miss the event. There was an event back in the day, back when War Thunder had weekend events where it was on one map and with set lineups, and it was the LA5 versus the G2 as the top dog, and it was really really fun. I loved destroying those things with the LA5. It was heaps of fun. I really do like that. I really do like that. Mike said something about you moving out. Yep, I'm moving out on Saturday, I think, to another place, moving in with another colleague, which should be quite nice. Quite looking forward to that. And yeah, hopefully that will be a positive maneuver. Old Schwack. The old Schwack sounds, I know what you mean, were so nice. I loved the kind of metallic kind of twinge they had. I don't know what the time is, but they had this kind of metallic smack when they fired, and it sounded so nice. And yeah, man, I know what you mean. I'd like that back actually. Yeah, the incendiary rounds for the Schwacks work kind of okay now. What are they? The FI, the fragmentation incendiary, they work quite well. But the others are not so much. But I haven't played them too much recently, so maybe I should try that again. Yeah. Smeagol, do you remember back when the SC100 had that, the 100mm on the Russian gun had that really metallic kind of thwack sound? So nice. I miss all those sounds. They're really good. When Bismarck on naval, when the environment of naval forces can accommodate such a powerful ship, I would imagine. Yeah, ground targets are what I use. Although on the later ones, the full fragmentation incendiary can work okay. It's really good at strafing out German anti-air actually, but yeah, I use those as well. How's your day been? It's been okay so far. I haven't really done too much, just sort of quite benign tasks, and now I'm here. Excuse me. Um, but I'm all right, as per usual. My job is being all right, and as such, I always am. Hello, Warump. How are you? I'm nearly out of tea already. Why am I going through it so quickly? Disaster. Um, does this man ever get out of bed, yo? This is interesting. Do you mean to say that um, I never do anything, or that I look tired? Please delineate. The spotlight's on you. All the eyes are on you, Mr. Too Short. Let me know. Um, yeah, you're right, and I think a lot of it is that nostalgia. But there's an interesting talking point around sounds like this, actually. But I think the nostalgia part is a big thing. You know, obviously, when you first play a game, you know, your memories are inflated because of how you felt, like a new and exciting thing. This is how our brain works. Um, but what I did like, even if the gun sounds weren't realistic or historical, they had personality to them. In that you could hear a Russian 122 go off, and you knew what it was, and you know, had that like dink sound, like hitting a really dense like gong or something, is what I always remembered it being sounding like. And I liked that, even though it didn't sound like an actual cannon sounded. Um, it had kind of personality to it. I think personality is the best way to word it, at least from my perspective, and that's what I really like about it. And I do miss that. I like the sounds now. I think a lot of the aircraft gun sounds are a lot more meatier. They sound a lot nicer. But the main cannon sounds, I miss a bit, even though they do sound a bit more realistic now. But I do miss them still. Do miss them still. Does Leopards have the best optics in game? Relative to what? In terms of the zoom, or what do you mean? Yeah, the Japanese ones, I know what you mean. I think those are one of the ones that I tested back in the day, and they weren't that great. I think they don't really sound beefy, I guess. Maybe that's how they sound in real life. I have absolutely no idea. Um, but yeah, I agree there. They can maybe do with some differentiation. Can you try using background music? No. Are you a tank guy or a plane guy? Neither. Um, I don't really know what I would define as. Um, I'm not sure. I think planes are more interesting than tanks, but I like playing tanks more just because of the dynamics of how the match goes. Um, I think that's probably what I would say. I'm not sure. I like both. I do like both. But I'm not sure what I would pick ultimately. Um, hello there. Hello there too. Where's tea? Here is tea. Bit of Earl Grey today in this cup. There you go. You can see a bit of it there. I'm a fan. Do you play naval often? Not often anymore because I've spaded all of the well ships I want to play, apart from some of the more top tier ones. But I do like naval a fair bit. Like the lower tiers, like below 4.0, I quite like a lot. Is that the real Bloppen in my chat? Hello? Identify yourself. Tell me something only the real Bloppen would know. Um, Mike said you'll be having some changes in the house. I don't know what you mean, but I am moving out in 5 days ish, or um, 6 days. I don't know, one of those. But yes, not too long. Moving in with another colleague and her other friends, which will be nice, hopefully. Without sounding rude, how dare you? How dare you ask such a thing? I'm joking. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't really know how old I am. I sort of forgot a long time ago. Um, yeah, I think I'm early 20s or maybe 30s. I don't know. I'm one of them. You can't really see, but I have a lot of grey hair. Hang on. I'm going very grey. You can't really see it, but yeah. I don't know. I might be like 30, I might be 20. I can't remember, and I don't really care to know. Um, you still have that delirium beer? Very good. Yeah, I did. I was a bit mental with that. Okay, this is the real Bloppen. Incredible. Did you actually? Yeah, like my parents can't agree on what age I am because we lost the birth certificate ages ago, and so yeah, I don't really know. I'm not that old, I think. But yeah, in about 5 years, I'll probably be completely. I'll have like completely white hair. Um, a lot of the people in my family go grey by the time they're like early 30s or like late 20s. So we've got a lot more going on. Why don't you grow a beard? I can't really grow much facial hair, so I don't. Um, do you think that Air RB enduring confrontation should be brought back for good? I see. There's like pros and cons to it. In theory, it's a good mode, but in practice, it's quite easy to exploit. I guess there's a lot of ability to kind of really leather people with how it works, and because a lot of people don't have the time to dedicate to play a whole like match of it, it can be a little bit tricky like that. But with the right map and the right kind of tweaking, I think it could work. But if it were to be brought back, like how it is right now, I don't think I would say it would be a good shout. But I think in general that if we could, I guess, tweak it a little bit, change the I guess the maps and the spawns, it could be quite nice. But I think right now it needs a bit more work. Do you use conditioner? Yes, I use Oplex and some John Frieda, um, and that works quite nice. I'm a fan of that. Yeah, I think current, like for me at least, like I'm not trying to say that this would be like the correct decision. Just what I would like. I would like AirRB to be a kind of revitalized, I guess, rather than replacing it with EC, because I like the feedback loop of like just general like AirRB. I like it more than EC because it's quick. It's a bit more dynamic in how like the lineups work. But I think there would be there's some things I would like to see before then. Um, but that's personally what I would like, just because it keeps the matches short and then more people can actually play it. Because I worry sometimes that people would get intimidated about like a match that to get the most out of it you need to dedicate over like an hour and like 2 hours. I'm a bit worried about that. But in general, yeah, 60-minute battles. I like that because that's where stories came from. When you told your friends, like, if I were to ask you, like, what was your most memorable ARB experience, it was probably one that was like an hour long. And I do miss that. And so I'm with you on that. I do miss the old timer. I like that. You should cut your hair skin from the sides and long on top. No, I'd look like a stupid person, even more stupid than I already look. I don't want to do that. Christ. I have 5 kg. I want to spend it on USA Aviation. Any suggestions? Um, don't suggest me Prem because already have. So do you mean don't suggest premium time? Question one. Question two. Do you want to buy a premium in terms of having like a vehicle to play to relax, or do you want it in terms of getting a vehicle as a product to grind with? What's your prerogative? I look like a cock, exactly, and I don't want to look like any more of a cock. Um, no. Where do you live? Why? Your voice makes me so asleep? Good. If you were to find my secret channel, you would find more for that, actually. I do have a couple of narration channels. Premium play, not premium account. Okay. Do you want a premium in terms of like playing to relax or one to progress with? Someone is shouting outside. Not a good vibe. Um, Have you tried using the terrain following mechanic in game? Do you think it's useful? Um, I haven't really used it too much. Like for me, it takes too much time to actually like initiate. Um, and for that reason, I don't really use it too much. Um, yeah, I'm not really. I don't think it's. I mean, it's a new mechanic. It's always going to get some kind of I guess changes in the future. So right now, I don't have too much to say about it. But I like it in theory, for sure. Yes, there was a lot of bait going on, Bloppen. I'm a fan of that. I mean, that's that. You know, we've got to keep it going. It's click, click, click. It's constant back and forth. And you know, I'm a fan of baiting, so you have lots of that to look forward to in the future. Um, please update the language Vietnamese, please. Go to the forum about that, and you know, if you have any concerns, bring it up there. There's not much I can do about it now. Would you say that you're a master at it? You see, this is very funny. This joke is really funny because if I say that I'm a master baiter, it implies that I, you know, engage in some kind of sort of autofellatio, which means that you know it's very funny because that's very comedic and very engaging and entertaining to say that I do that. And so in Mr. Noom here saying that you know inferring that I'm a master at baiting, it infers that I am engaged in some form of sexual activity, which is incredibly funny. And so I think we should give him a bit of a clap for that. A comedy is achieved, as he said. Yes, absolutely brilliant. That's a 10 out of 10 for me. Fantastic. Very, very good there. Um, I want to buy a premium on you. Say any recommendation of planes? Yeah, and Mr. Bernard, I've asked for some clarification here a couple of times for you. Do you want to buy a premium for the intention of playing a vehicle that's fun and you know to relax with, or one that's chiefly for progressing and getting more RP? Um, what would you prefer? Because the answer would be different at either end. Um, you sound like an English anime over sound. What do you mean? What do you mean? Um, Bloppen, yes. Can we annex Mystic and bully him for a bit? Well, not bully, obviously, but be nice to him visibly. To suffer and to grind. So you want to buy a premium that will help you progress? Is that what you're saying? Yes? Because this is still a very vague, I must say. I must say. I'm not getting pinged. It is okay. Don't worry about it. We are all good. Yes. Fantastic. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, for progressing, I think. Well, annoyingly, your best bet or one of your best bets is probably the F2G1, the Super Corsair. Although that's a marketplace vehicle which you can't buy for GE, but it's really cheap. It's like what 6-7 euros for a tier 4 premium with some versatility. Um, that's probably well, one of the best picks relative to the price right now. So I would definitely go for that. Um, if you want a fighter, um, well, it depends because I think I'd probably go with the XP50 for that. It's incredibly easy to use. It's really kind of relaxing to play. I would definitely go for that one as well. Um, and then if you want something that's incredibly like peak baby mode, go for the XP55. Although it is expensive, I wouldn't hugely recommend it, but something like that would work as well. Um, but yeah, if you can get the F2G, really powerful, well worth it for the price. And then I would probably go with the XP50 or the XP55 if you have the money for it. I would probably go for. Um, glad to see another stream. I'm glad. Hello. I hope you're doing okay, and I'm glad that you're here. And I hope this is somewhat nice. I suppose. What is SMK used as? What do you mean? I think I know what you mean, but I don't want to assume. Peak baby mode means something that is so easy to play you barely need to think. It's sort of something that's not exactly a concrete terminology. It's just a thing that I say sometimes. I can't gift you the PO2, sorry. Maybe next year. Would Sturm Tiger be a good April Fool's tank? It doesn't really have any need um, to be an April Fool's tank, but it could be fun to use. Yes. Why did you hang that baby out of the balcony? Well, you know, same reason I left the gate open in that zoo. Chaos. Yes. Um, it's 1 a.m. I have no idea what to do. What mood are you in right now? Give me a rundown on your psyche. I can try and assist. Um, will some states like Czechia be added to the game? Maybe in the future, maybe not. I have no idea. No clue. Potato here with the middle school tier advice. Very well done. I know what you mean, Ash. Like, I kind of get into those mindsets as well, where it's like I'm tired, but I'm also too bored to sleep. In the reasoning that like I feel like I haven't done enough in the day to justify sleeping. Um, like I don't know. I don't know. I mean, do you have any games that you play to relax? Something like Forza or something. Because usually what I do, when I feel like that, I tidy, like I do the washing up or I tidy my room or something, and then I'm kind of a bit more sleepy, and then I can play something for a little bit, like I don't know, a couple of rounds of War Thunder or like another game, like something more relaxing, and I kind of do that for the reason that I feel like I've achieved something because when I wake up, the space that I'm in looks nicer, and I've also done something a little bit to relax, like a social treat, I guess. That's what I do. It kind of works. Don't know if that would work for you, but that's what I do. Like play something a bit relaxing or that kind of thing. Um, that's usually what I go for. Anyway, it's very nice blopping. You get it. Yeah, it's a shame to not have you here, dude. Because like I'm in the office and just no one else here. Sad, sad. Who's gonna eat all the cake? Not me, of course. Um, have you ever played Enlisted before? Yes, I play Enlisted a fair bit. It's quite nice. I don't play it very much because there's not really much end game content to kind of sink your teeth into, but I do like it. You'll be in every Tuesday, so you'll drive like 5 hours for one workday. Is this a meme, or are you serious? Long Dark, dude, the Long Dark is so good, man. I haven't finished it because it's one of those games that I don't want to like finish basically, but I really like it. Such a good I don't know, really engaging. It keeps me actually focused. How long will the train take you every Tuesday, dude? What is this business? Absolute mental behavior. Do you play horror games? I do a bit, not too much, because I think there's not really very many good ones. But I do like them. Yeah, good ones at least. Not that my relative forming of good has any metric, but um, I like some. Yep. Man, that is a long time. I would just say stay at home. There's no need if it's like that much tedium. How are you a dead shot? What do you mean, Mr. Ahmed? Um, what are your PC specs asking for a friend? Why does your friend need to know this? Does it need to be done? What are we doing on Tuesday, or you doing on Tuesday? Um, it's a lot of time there, Chief. You are a good shotter. It's just time and practice, I guess. I'm not really that great at aiming. There's a lot more work I can kind of put into it, but yeah, a lot of it is just practice. Episode 4 is slightly disappointing, but game's sounding good. Yes, big fan. So much fun. My colleague bought that game for me a while ago. I was addicted to it for a while. Um, Ghostly, it's basically done. I just need to wait for something else to happen. What I might do is upload the video in low quality, like lower quality, to Google Drive, so people can watch it right now, and then just kind of wait for the main thing, I guess, in the video to come out. I might do that because it's done. I'm just waiting on other people to get it released, which is kind of annoying, but hopefully it won't take too long. I can also work from the. I guess you can, yeah, if you have a laptop or whatever. It is certainly possible. Do you have the VPN sorted yet? A tank gameplay? Yeah, I can put tank gameplay on after the plane segment's finished. I will do. Do you work streaming from home? You and other hosts usually look like you are. No, we stream from the office. It's currently 3:30 p.m. in Germany right now. Kind of late, but not too much. Mid-afternoon, I guess, or late afternoon, early evening. I don't know. Time's vague and peculiar, which is quite nice. Hello, Ryan Edwards. How are you? How's your day today? How's your day today, please? If anyone gets that, we can be friends. Um, which country would you recommend me start next? Japan, Sweden, or Italy? Sweden's probably the most consistent throughout. I'd probably go with Sweden. The vehicles are quite samey, but they're still fun. The man sent me the information, the wrong password. Oh, I see. Yeah. Hopefully you can get to that soon. Um, yeah, once you've got that sorted, then we are all good to go. I have some things I need to discuss with you later, either today or tomorrow. Um, Depends when I finish. But we'll have a call later, if need be. Can you one-shot an enemy? Yes. Why T26 E5 so overpowered? It's one of those vehicles that's really good against kind of weak players and kind of just okay against good players. You could argue that's the same for everything, but it kind of isn't. It was added at a BR that would have been okay if it kept the armor it had, and it will probably be up tiered in the future after the armor adjustments that it's had, because it's far too easy to use for 6-3. Um, and it's probably gonna easily go up from there, but we'll see. Why JU288 spammed at 6-0? I don't really have the ability to internalize the mental state and motives of the people playing the vehicle, so I can't tell you why it's being used so much. I would probably say that probably because it's easy to get RP with, and it's quite easy to play, and that's why it's being used so much. The Stalingrad mini event happened recently. Do you think this type of thing would continue? I would really like if it did, but I agree it should. It'll be like for me. Maybe people find it boring, but I like when there is a an event that basically runs over a weekend, gives you a lineup and one map or two maps. because you know what you're going to fight, you know what you're going to play, and you know where you're going to play. And so you have all the information to decide whether you want to actually play the event or not. And I really like that. Um, so I'm all for having more of those events. I'd really like to see some more of those in the future. I'm with you on that 100%. I think they're really safe to play, I guess. Um, when will XP50 get airfield spawn and BR increase? Hopefully soon, because it's way too. The thing is, it's difficult to use perfectly, but it's good enough to kind of ruin the game of players who have no way to counter it. And to me, that's the problem. And so yeah, I think it probably does deserve to go up. So I'm for that. I'm all for that. I will also very briefly go to the secret documents room and come back because I've drunk a lot of tea. Not that that has anything to do with going to the secret documents room. Haha. I will be right back. Much love. I will be. 92 seconds. Ooh. Hello. I'm back again. What did I miss? Something, presumably. Uh, uh, egg, egg, egg. Yes. The chair is moving. Don't worry about it. Who's Oxy? I don't know. I hear the name a lot, but I don't really know much about it. 99 seconds. One day I will get it exactly right, and on that day, I don't know. I'll think of something interesting to do. Yes. Oh man, Ash, I tried. I tried so hard. I tried my bestest. Um, how can the Super Pershing be 6.7 and the mighty American T-34 6.7.2? Um, they're both sort of like the thing with those vehicles are that the T-26 and the T-34, they're heavy tanks only really by name. Like the T-34 is more of a true heavy, and the T-26 is more of a support heavy, I guess. And so they don't quite do the same thing. Um, the T-34 can perform as a traditional heavy tank quite well, and the T-26 is more of like a slow medium kind of thing. Its one shot potential is great. Its armor is good against certain vehicles, but it does need to be played a certain way. It's more like a tank destroyer, I think. Um, the T-34 probably could be 7.0, to be honest. It's an incredibly good tank. Um, what I would like to see personally is the T-26 to have a reload reduction, because the reload on the T-26 is the same as the T-29, even though the T-29 has two loaders. But the T-26 has single piece ammunition. I mean, historically it was because loading the really like the long T-41 rounds inside the Pershing was really annoying because not enough room. So that's why the reload is so long. But it's one of those instances where I think you can take those historical liberties with it, and I think that's probably what needs to be done to the T-26 if it is going to stay at that BR. That's what I'd like to see anyway. So I still really like it. I think it definitely has a place and it works. It works pretty well. Um, that's what I'd like to see anyway. Spitfire worst fighter for tier? No. Um, can you destroy an enemy with shooting a airplane and the plan hits another one? Yes, I think. Gaijin needs to take more liberties like the Shindenkai Pepe Love. Yes, absolutely. Just weird Japanese stuff. The Japanese had so many like interesting concepts. I'd love to see more of those knocking about. I'm all for that. I mean, they're not necessary, I guess, but it would be nice to see just from my perspective, I think I've said it before, like maybe even within the same question, but War Thunder is one of the best places for kind of ideas, like historical ideas like that, to kind of be brought back, like brought to life, I guess. And even though it kind of takes away from the historically authentic vibe, I think it's just cool. I like having those vehicles. I think they're just interesting. Um, and Japan especially has some really interesting concepts. What was the name of that like super giant bomber transport they had? That was quite cool as well. Man, reminds me of Caproni a bit. Anyway, um, yes. Why was the M26E1 removed from the premium store? I can't really say specifically, but I would probably say it was down to it being well, there's already a lot of premiums that tier at that BR, and it's sort of decadent to the point where it's not exactly well, it's the least interesting I think out of the tier 4 premiums, and I imagine that's probably why. Not the 263, no, the Japanese one that was bigger, not uh the glider, the German glider, the actual Japanese concept plane wasn't, and they never made it. But yeah, the 263 is a different thing. Um, yeah, be interesting to see. There was a user mission with it, I think, back in the day. Let me see if I can Google it here. Yeah, I mean giant in terms of size, not the name of the glider. Sorry. Let me find it. Um, um, let me see. The G10N. That's the one I'm thinking of, I think. Is it? Or is there even a bigger one? I'm on Google right now, having a goog. I think that's what I'm thinking of, but there might even be a bigger one. I think there was a bigger one than that. I can't remember what it was called. I think I was thinking of that one, but there's another one that I was also thinking of. Um, huh. Bear with me. I need to find this out, otherwise it's going to really annoy me. Oh yeah, this is it. The let me check if this is right. Yeah, it's I was thinking of the KX-03, which was this like huge like flying boat that weighed like 500 tons. Yeah, this is it. Obviously it's complete fabrication design, but I just think it's really cool. Yeah, the Kawanashi KX-03. Very cool. Anyway, um yes. Okiski, can you give me advice on how to lead? Me bullets hajlip. Um It depends on what you're using. Generally, the old kind of adage advice is to aim like 1.5 times what you think you should lead, because the I think a lot of people are conditioned by games like Call of Duty or whatever, where you need there is some lead, some drop, but the drop is not very pronounced, and because a lot of people are used to playing games with very little drop, you will kind of underlead. So I think leading slightly more than you think you should based on that conditioning is a good starting point, and that's probably what I'd recommend. But it does, of course, depend on what your um well the guns that you're using. But that's the advice I generally kind of go to as a baseline, I would say. Oxy's Bullion didn't answer my SMK question. I think I missed it. There's a lot of things I need to take a look at. I'm not sure what you mean. Um, yes. Yeah, it's like a huge H8K with I don't know, weird stuff like that. I love. Um, I just think it's cool. Probably a bit stupid, but I mean, I like it. I think it's interesting. Um, what ammunition to use for 50 cal? It depends what era. There's like late war, mid war, and early war belts. What belt specifically? What aim distance you use? I think I just use the stock one of like 400 or 500. Um, I don't necessarily think any is better than the other. It's just what you're most used to and what you can be the most adaptable while using, I think. Um, so yeah, I think I just use the standard one personally. And get that plane off my screen, otherwise I'm going to keep looking at it. It's cool though, I think. Um, what have I missed? Um, Sherman's has no armor in 4060. Most can pen it. Well, yeah, most can pen it. But the advantage of the Sherman is that they can fire at the enemy so quickly. Your armor is, not exactly a pivotal factor. You can fire accurately faster than basically anything else that you can conceivably meet. So, yeah, I mean, if you angle and keep on the move, your armor can work, especially hull down and down tiers. The armor can be quite effective, but yeah, you need to make use of the short stabilizer to get the first shot off. Um, so yeah, the armor's not incredible, but it works for what it is, and I quite like it for that. Does Gaijin feed you? No, I mean the onus to consume is on me. Uh, Gaijin is not responsible for giving me food. I need to buy my own. Um, which nation has best tanks in mid tier? Probably one of the main ones. Germany's good, Russia's good, Britain's quite good at 4-7, America's good as well. I mean, any of the main BR lineups is pretty good. There's not really like a set answer, I guess. They're all pretty adept. Rota in the chat. How are the dogs? How's Nala? Sweetest girl there ever was. Do you see working for Gaijin a career? I mean, working for Gaijin is my career. I've worked here for like 15 months, so I guess yes. Um, that's another language. Can you notice me? Yes, I can. What is the best heavy tank for its BR in the game? It's difficult because there's sort of different classes of heavy tank in that regard. Some that are basically medium tanks, and some that are heavy tanks. It's like the distinction between the KV1 ZIS-5 and the like T-32, you know. So I'm not sure. In terms of armored heavy tanks, the KV1 ZIS is very effective. Um, but then something like the T-32 or the heavy tanks. KV1 ZIS and like all those ones, like you've got the KV1S and the E, they're really easy to use as heavy tanks. I'd probably go with one of them. Honestly, they work from all angles. It's very effective. Um, that's probably what I would go with. How big is the Gaijin team? Very big for what it is. Very big. Um, how are you doing lately? Fine, as always. Yep. Copsy will come back in the future for sure. Absolutely. Will there be a Christmas event with new vehicle? I can't say. Obviously, you'll have to wait and see. I can't tell you how much I earn. Come on now. Can't say so. Yes, then? No. I can't say means nothing. It's sort of a non statement. There might be something, there might be nothing. I mean, it's not that difficult to surmise the outcome, to be honest. Will we get more French World War II tanks like the BDR? Maybe. Again, it's not an impossibility, but it's less important, I think, from the perspective of the team to, I guess, add sort of incidental World War II vehicles and kind of bolster the main lineups. So I think they probably will get more World War II stuff, but when that is, I don't know. I also need to switch the mouse right now so I can adapt, change the footage on the screen. Bear with me. Let's see. What do we think? Put on some tanks. There we go. Bit of tankage. And I'll put the mouses back. How long has your job career with Gaijin is? If you mean how long I've worked here, about 15 months. Um, what's your favorite plane? I'm not sure. Maybe the Tempest Mark 5. I do like the Tempest Mark 5. It's a very pretty plane, very versatile, works very well. Um, maybe that's my favorite. I'm not sure. Could be. Um, how do you unlock planes? Just by playing the game. When you finish a match, you get points into the next plane you select. Um, so yeah, just go at your own pace. Stick at the lowest BR for as long as you can and work up steadily. It's the way to go. Ziggs M4A2, yes. M4A2 is an incredibly easy tank to use. It's very nice. I like it a lot. Very fun. I couldn't find the M4A1 FL11 in the French. I don't think it's on sale anymore, is it? Might be removed. Which jet is the best starter jet? The SU-9 or the Squadron ME-262? Out of those, the SU-9 is probably the most forgiving, I would say. So I'd probably go with that one. All the M4s are so squishy. I wouldn't say they are. The early ones, especially, like the M4A2 is incredibly good armor if you angle and keep on the move. Really, really good. The later ones are less reliable, but you can still make them work if you angle and bait shots and stuff. But the early ones, especially, are very, very well armored for what they are. M4 is great, however, the Firefly is better. Not exactly in black and white terms, in different ways. Firefly is good at playing at, well, longer range and defeating better armor, but it's less versatile, and the lack of stabilizer means it's very, very out of its element in close range fights. So it's not objectively better at all. It's better in terms of defeating armor, but not objectively correct as a sort of better option. What is the best American plane? It's not really. There's not really an answer to that. It depends on the BR and what it fights. I don't think you can really have a best of anything like that. There are certainly vehicles that are very good, but not anything that's like objectively the best example of something. Who is playing in the $M in the video now? Me. This is just some of my footage. Kansk like low tier? No idea what you mean. Maybe. It's me. Yeah, it's me playing the M4 right now. All of this footage is mine, just from clips. Hello, the Norwegian fish. What species of fish is your favorite? The spotlight's on you. What is your answer immediately? I won't move on until you tell me. I will. Cod? Fair enough. I can accept that. Yep, that's my old nickname. Someone else has it now. That was my old one. Will they add a B-52 bomber? Probably not really anytime soon, but again, it's not an impossibility. It's one of those things that's like a maybe. I think the game right now cannot accommodate those vehicles. But in the future, maybe it could be possible. When you are finished, you need to do the thing with me. That sounds too intimate. What do you mean? What thing are you referring to? Where is Jessica Hyde? Dunno. I've got no idea. You're not going to break me, Chief. The thing with the partnership thing, yeah, we can do that later or tomorrow. It depends how much other stuff I have to do. But it's not vital in any case. It's just, when we can, we'll talk about it. We will see. Perhaps. She's hiding. Yes, that like animation is really good. It's a really fun video. I like that a lot. Why does the penetration camera sometimes show dummies and sometimes blocky creature things? I'm not sure what you mean. If you mean that sometimes the model of the crewman inside is blocky, I think it's like a lack of resources issue. I think I'm not sure. My man, we need music. No, we don't. What are the next vehicles coming to the game? Can't say. You'll have to wait and see. They are quite cool though. Do you have the Minecraft joke book you had on last stream? Yes, it's always on the table, always ready to go. And if you have the channel points, it is there to be redeemed. Always. Some of them even fly. Yes. What's the largest plane in game? I genuinely don't know. It's probably, I don't know, in terms of wingspan, I think it might be the 264, but I can't remember. That or the BV. I really don't know. I can't remember actually. Polish Sherman or Cobra King, please answer. I can't answer that because it's not a question. What do you mean? Do you mean in terms of like, what? A vehicle to buy in the respective nations, something to play for fun, which is better? Like the answer's always different. What do you mean? I think the BV238 is the biggest in terms of mass, but I don't know if it's the widest. I'm not sure. Can't remember. Hello XX Akula XX. What should I buy? But relative to what do you want? You know, what are you looking for? Because the question might as well just boil down to what nation do you want to grind the most? I mean, it's not a question that has an answer, like a black and white answer. I need more from you to help out. Is the Rogo worth it? No. It's not a very good vehicle, and it's kind of expensive for what it is. It's okay for fun, but it's not efficient as a vehicle to progress with at all. I need an efficient grinder for the UK or US. I'd probably just wait until you get a lineup for both and then decide on there. I mean, you have an identical version in the tree for both nations. The Firefly Premium is a bit different, but it's functionally the same. I would honestly just get the Firefly and the Jumbo in both trees and work out which one you like more. Because I would probably say the Jumbo is more reliable, at least for me, but it depends on what you want and how you approach the game. So I would just unlock the regular Jumbo and the regular Firefly, work out which one you like the most, and buy the one that is relative to that. Or just buy a talisman on the one in the tree because it's much cheaper. Um, that as well works. Um, how do you make APFSDS or any solid AP shells spool more? You basically need to hit. It depends on the armor that you're hitting. Basically, if your round penetrates 200 millimeters of armor, and you hit armor that has an effective thickness of 195 millimeters, it doesn't have enough residual energy to generate a lot of shrapnel. But if you penetrate an armor plate that's 100 millimeters thick, it will generate much more shrapnel. So generally, if you aim for the weakest part of the armor that you can hit, you will do the most damage, and that's basically how you do it. Um, there are other factors that go into it, but that's the simplest way of explaining it. Do you think War Thunder will reach F-22 Raptors? I have no idea. No idea. Maybe it will in like, a long way in the future, but I don't think it's, the plans for that are, excuse me, sort of even in the works at the moment. Yeah. Excuse. Wet terms T will be balanced. I have no idea what you mean. What's your favorite nation? Probably America. I just like their vehicles. I think it's really nice. Um, aesthetically, I think I probably like Germany the most, but in terms of how it plays, I think America's my favorite. I really like America. Will there be a Korean tech tree? Probably unlikely, but I can't say for sure either way. Maybe, maybe not. Do you think they're going to add any more swing wings to the game? Yeah, they will in the future, but I can't really comment on any particulars. Robert, I've answered that question, I think your question, about 3 times. Just saying the same thing over and over again will not make the answer magically appear. Um, yeah, that goes for a lot of people on YouTube, by the way. If you just say the same thing over and over again, I will just ignore it. So, if I don't answer it the first time, I'm probably reading something else. If you can, send it again after, I don't know, a few minutes if it's obvious I haven't seen it. But if you spam it whenever the slow mode turns off for you, I will just ignore you. Please don't do that. Um, um, maybe in 2030, I don't know. I mean, it all depends on well, it depends on lots of things. We'll see. Yeah, I don't mean to be mean with it, but just don't spam stuff. Because I won't really look at it. What's your opinion on the S199 coming to the game? Maybe it's not coming to the game. It might not come. It might come. No idea. So as such, I don't have an opinion for it. Oxy angry? Man, if you think this is me angry, you have no clue. I can't remember the last time I've got angry, really. I don't really get annoyed very much. I'm quite docile like that, like a bored cat. Just sort of deal with it. Boeing planes well? When? Maybe. Who knows? Do you have German gameplay videos for the background? Not now, but I can get some, if need be. Perhaps. When playing Archer. I quite like the Archer. I think it's quite relaxing. I don't hate it. What's up with the M6? Its armor is mediocre, but it's a heavy and the community seems to think it's unkillable. I don't know what you mean or how that's a question. Like, I don't know. I mean, if you're asking me about the community's perception on the tank, I can't really comment on that because I haven't really seen the community's opinion that is sort of agreeable to that statement. I mean, the armor's okay. You can make it quite effective if you hold down and angle the turret. Um, it's like a fat medium, I guess, out of cover, which is okay for what it is. But I don't really know what question I'm answering here. Sorry. I just joined. What tank are you playing? I'm not playing right now. This is kind of background footage, but this is the M4A2. Probably one of my favorite tanks in the game. How to play the M6, I guess? Question mark. Well, it's very similar to the Sherman, really. I think one of the main things is just to it's about maximizing the armor effectiveness. If you play hull down and angle the turret, the armor can be really, really effective. You can bounce 88s, 85s like that quite easily. That's a really safe way to play it. If out of cover, you want to stay on the move and make use of the short stabilizer 100% of the time. It's what makes the vehicle work. Also, I would angle slightly towards the machine guns on the hull, not because it sort of increases the armor, but it gives the suggestion of the enemy. Well, basically, a lot of people, if they're quite sort of new to the game, will aim center mass, and the center mass, if you slightly angle, is the machine guns on the M6. And so if you do that, that's the strongest part of the hull armor. They can sometimes soak up incoming fire. So that's pretty much the most reliable spot you can get from the armor, and that's really how I would play it. But really, it's a very general tank. There's little that it objectively can't do. It's just shooting fast and aiming well and making sure that you're not making yourself an easy target. Your hair is crazy? It isn't though. It's just not boring. It's just longer than usual. Like it's odd to me like how much of an insanely radical concept me having slightly long hair is. It's bizarre, like how impossible to comprehend this is. Maybe it's like a thing in other people's countries, but it's quite normal to have hair that's not that short where I come from. I don't know if that's like an abhorrent act against God in other areas, but I mean, it's fine, really. It's nothing to be upset about. Is the background clips your gameplay? Yes, it is. Should I skip the Chiri 2 and just play the STA 1? I mean, the Chiri 2 is fine. I mean, it's a very big target. The armor can work situationally, but it's not amazing. But it's I quite like it. I think it's quite fun. Autoload is okay, not incredible, but it works, and I quite like it. Will you do a revisit of the tech trees for all the recent additions? Yes, I am planning to do that. I need to figure out the best way of what the best way of doing that will be. But yeah, I do plan on it definitely because I think there's value in that. Are the Macabres going to the Israel tree after Ground Tree comes out? They will be in the main tree, but they won't move. So if you own it in the US tree, it will stay in the US tree. But they will probably have their own variants in the tech tree in Israel. So there'll be two effectively. How shall I play the first jumbo? I don't like chilling myself, but if you look up, I have a video on YouTube, which is the Tier 3 American Tank Guide. There's about a 10-minute segment on how to use it there. I won't link it because I mean I'm not about doing that. But if you are interested, look it up. I feel like the video there does a better job than what I can do here. So I would look that up if I were you. No Swedish footage now, but there will be some in the future. Hey Oxy, how's the what is that? Crake? I can't. Is that? I think that's a word I'm not familiar with. What do you mean? Sorry. Is this your full-time job? Yes. Is good to work in for Gaijin company? Yes, I like it. Thanks, Sharky. It will be done soon. I will probably post like a Google Drive link to the version I have right now on my Discord, just so if you want to watch it now, you can. But I need something to happen before I can release it on YouTube. Annoyingly, but it is done. It's been done for weeks. Annoyingly, but so I might post it there. We'll see. Are heat FS supposed to bounce at extreme angles? Yes, they will bounce at extreme angles. Definitely. Yeah, I have a Discord. I've had it for like, I don't know, 5 years maybe? Very long time. Would you be surprised if someone did an Oxy voice pack? Yeah, I mean, my voice is quite boring, so there's not really many interesting things that can come from that, I must say. Um, so yes, I suppose I would. It's Irish. It pronounced crack. How's it going? Oh yeah. What's the crack? My dad says that. It's like, what's the crack? Um, Not sexual. It just sort of means how's it going. So yeah, that's interesting actually. That reminds me, I need to talk to Irish Chris because we were meant to do a project together a while ago, and I haven't heard from him. So yes, thank you for reminding me about that. I need to talk to Chris later. I'll make a note of that. It's going okay. How are you doing? How are things with you? Um, Irish Chris, yeah. It's like I don't want to sort of say people's real names, so it's like term name, like Mickey the Hat. Mickey the Hat used to come in the railway. There's Mickey the Hat, Big Trev, Skinny Pete, Pooey Steve. I miss Pooey Steve actually. Yeah, good friends back in the day. Well, they're mostly my dad's friends. So I didn't have any friends, but I've never heard you do a voice crack. My voice cracks all the time. This is not my real voice, so not used to this. There is an official War Thunder TikTok. It probably will get some stuff on it soon, possibly. M6 very big? Yes, I agree. This is Oxy's stream ASMR voice. No, I mean, I think this is how I talk, but I didn't always used to sound like this. I sounded quite different back in the day, I think. Um, yeah. Do you guys celebrate Guy Jube's birthday? Not as like an event. It's just sort of like a normal day, but it's like, oh, cool. Maybe we'll have some beers or something. What's the difference between the M4A1 and the M4A2 76? The hull, basically. The M4A2 has a better hull, or better armor, effectively. Most other aspects are the same. Is there any chance to get the Toldi? Not now. It might come back in the future as like a proxy event, but for like right now, I have no idea really. I don't play War Thunder. Okay. I hope you continue not to do that. That is your choice. Um, but if you'd like to play it, by all means, give it a go. It can be an incredibly fun game. Um, but completely up to you. I mean, I'm not going to make you play it. Um, what the dog doing? We'll see. And we're good. Okay. What happened to the egg shirt? Nothing. I'm just not wearing it right now. Do you have a favorite battleship? Hmm. I don't know. I'm not sure my favorite one would be. I quite like the Russian ones though. They're quite satisfying to use. I like those. But I don't play them too much. I don't. I usually tend to avoid the like the highest echelon of stuff. Um, that's usually where I choose to go, but well, choose to avoid rather. But yeah, I'm not sure. Probably one of the Russian ones. I think those are quite fun. You won't find it by Oxy ASMR. It's another thing entirely. Why does Sweden jump from 5.7 to 7.0? Because there's no vehicles to fill the gap. Um, is the M41A1 good? Yes, very, very good. The Sabo is quite inaccurate. But the AP round's very good at getting shots from the side. The mobility is great, and the reactivity of the turret traverse is very good as well. So yeah, I really like it for that. I almost prefer it to the T92 as well. Actually, I would say. Um, yeah, really good. A really good tank. Is this a replay? It's not a replay. It's live gameplay recorded, but it's not. It's not live right now. Oxy, what is your YouTube? It's just Oxy. If you type that into YouTube, you will find me. It's all there. Gaijin doesn't necessarily not want prototype tanks in the tech tree. They will be added in the tech tree if there's no other option. Um, but it's like a last resort kind of thing. Are stat card lying sometimes? No. Is the M421A1 better than the M18? In some ways, yeah. The killing power, less so, but the reactivity and survivability, definitely. Any thoughts on starter vehicles for Israel when they start being more developed? I can't speak about any upcoming content. I'm afraid I'll have to wait until it's released. I guess I can't really speak about that. How do I play the Chinese PD-76? A bit more passively, I think. It's not really a very good aggressive light vehicle. It's more of a support light vehicle. Um, you don't have the reactivity with the stabilizer or the reload. So hanging back a bit, sticking with the team, and kind of being a bit more of a support is the way to go. I think, at least for me, that's how I used it. Um, that's what I would go with anyway. It doesn't really respond well to being aggressive, not to the same degree anyway. So that's what I would go for personally. Um, love your hair today. Why would you lie to me like this? But thank you all the same. I appreciate it. Shall I get the M36? Yes, M36 is incredibly good for the tier. It has one of the most powerful cannons on a turreted platform in the entire game, so it's really, really good. Very much am a fan of it. Works great. Thumbs down for not answering. I have not seen your question. I have two chats to read and they move very quickly. Don't take it personally. Where's my TOG 2? Maybe in the future. I mean, it's one of those things that I think will probably come eventually. But yeah, we'll see it at some point, I guess. Is German 5.7 BR overpowered? No, it isn't. The tanks are very good if played correctly, but they're quite easy to misplay. And they're not hugely versatile. Like the Panthers are very easy to knock out when they're played incorrectly. I think that's probably why they're not higher. I guess they are quite easy to disable, but they're definitely not overpowered at all. They're very easy, but not broken at all. Would you like to see World War I content? Not for tanks. I could probably see it for planes, but I don't think it will come really. Definitely not for tanks. It's not it's not something that can well be feasible really. They're not really suited to kill each other. It wouldn't work very well. Any advice for what? Submarines possible as modern ship support in the future? I don't think submarines would really suit the game very much. They're incredibly slow, and with just how big the maps need to be, it won't really be fun for submarine players, and it won't be fun for people fighting submarines either. So I don't think it's really on the cards, but who knows? Maybe. Exactly, Metro. I These streams aren't announced on social media or anything, so they're intended to be smaller. So there's less people watching, basically, so I can answer as many questions as possible. Of course, like I wouldn't be able to answer everything, but I can try and see them all in any case. Um, but yeah, so these are sort of intended to be a little bit smaller, which is what I like. Your hair looks dry and damaged. It's neither of those things. It's very well looked after. It's there's I use a lot of very nice quality shampoo on it actually. So there's no need to worry. If you're by proxy insecure about your own hair, don't worry. I'm sure your hair's fine, as is mine as well. It's just very thick, so it doesn't really fall like most hair does. But it's doing very well at the moment, I must say. Um, any new Chinese top tier air planned in the pipeline? Maybe. There's still some stuff they could have, and when the time is right, I'm sure they will receive it in the future. Um, do you have a bathroom in here? I don't know what you mean. Do you mean in the office? Yes. In this room? No. In the stream? No as well. Um, so you guys planning on adding all those World War II tanks that you have skipped? I have no idea what you mean. What do you mean? Skipped in what sense? Are you a Twitter emo? No, I don't use Twitter, and my hair is just like this. I mean, like, I don't feel like I don't need to tell you this, but just because my hair is reasonably long and I'm quite pale, like, that doesn't really mean anything. It's just I happen to look like this, and it doesn't necessarily have any relevance to my intentions or motives or personality. My hair's just a bit long, and I'm pale. Um, it's seldom as simple as that. Take a bathroom? I don't think I can take it. I could probably take it piece by piece, but not in one go, and I wouldn't really have any use for it. Can we expect a regular dev Q&A as well as BVVD? Maybe. It would be nice if we could have it, because I think it does have value having that kind of back and forth. Um, yeah, I would like to see some more. Maybe if it goes well, we can sort of see more in the future. That would be quite cool. I'm all for it, and I'm sure other people will be as well. Um, yeah, absolutely. Hi from Barbados. Hello, how you doing, Mr. Grant? Nice to see you. Think about breathing? I always do. I breathe manually for whatever reason. I don't have any automatic breathing unless I'm sleeping. So, yeah, um, that is natural to me. He's pale because they get 25 minutes of sunlight every 2 years. Who's they in this scenario? That's a very poorly structured sentence there. You're doing good? Good. Glad to hear. Nice to see you too. I'm glad. How's the weather? It's okay. It's sort of grey, sunny, grey, sunny, grey, sunny right now. But it's like it's quite a good temperature right now, and that walking to work isn't really that cold, and it's like not too warm either, so I can basically wear whatever I want, and it's kind of manageable. So it's not too bad right now. Hello, Blackdown. How are you? My day is going well. Not too bad. A fair bit of stuff to do, but it's doing okay right now. Going okay. Got a fair bit to do this evening, but apart from that, it's not too bad. How are you doing? How's your day going? Um, yeah, Stanford. I mean, it's like it's one of those things that to some people, it's like a cultural thing. I think in some cultures, having longer hair is sort of indefensible, so people will get very defensive about it, which is quite funny. But you can kind of it's understandable, I guess, for some people. But um, You know how it is. Um, I do miss that. I do miss like not having my face visible because back in the day, whenever I was ever mentioned like my channel or whatever, it would be like I agree with what Oxy says. I don't agree. Like I like the channel. I dislike the channel. And that was fine. I like people kind of picking on me for like me saying things wrong or like just if I give bad advice or good advice, I like that. But now, whenever I see myself mentioned, it's like Oxy looks gross or like why why do they look like that or whatever, and it's like I would much rather people tell me that I say dumb things than I look stupid or whatever. Like I'd much prefer that, and that's probably my least favorite thing about this job. I mean, it's just I know I look a bit weird. That's fine. It doesn't mean anything though. Just like, if I say stupid things, by all means, like challenge me on that. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to be challenged for the things that I say. I didn't really there's no value in anything other than that. But go for it. That's what I'm here for. Otherwise there's no point. You know what I mean? Rasmus, yes. It's about 80% of any kind of mention at the moment. So there's a lot to do. But I'm here to be saying words most of the time. Um, where's the new Ground Forces guide? It's completely finished. It's been ready for a few weeks. Um, but I just need to wait for something else to happen first. I might release a link to it, like the draft version, on my Discord, just so if you want to watch it now, you can. Um, but yeah, it will be ready in like as soon as possible. Really, I'm basically relying on other people right now to get it finished. Annoyingly, so yeah, I need to wait a bit, but soon. Is your donations on? No, we don't take donations on this channel. No kind of monetization. It's all free, as it should be. What rank are you playing right now? In the video, rank 3. Um, in general, I kind of play whatever. Oxy doing okay? Always. My job is being okay. And I'm damn good at my job. Um, do you have every vehicle in the game? Yes. And are you employed at War Thunder and therefore get every vehicle? I don't get every. Excuse me. I don't get every vehicle for free. Um, because I'm a content creator, I can get some new stuff, but I don't get everything. Um, if I need to record for some B-roll, I can get the vehicle, but I don't just have everything because I work here. Plus, I like kind of grinding for stuff. It makes it more fun. Um, excuse me. Um, who are you? What do you do at War Thunder? What's your story? Contrary to what people probably like to believe, I don't really like talking about myself very much. I'm just a person that works here and got here by playing the game. Basically, I played the game, made some YouTube, and I got hired off the back of that. And I do lots of stuff here. I do B-roll, partnership management, a lot of marketing as well, and a lot of the English text translations. So there's lots of I do a lot of things, which is good. I like that. I like that I do lots of things because it means that throughout the day I can mix it up. So like if I get burnt out with one thing, I can move on to another, and that works way better. So yeah, I like that I have lots to do, lots of stuff. Will you ever do a no commentary or mouse and keyboard ASMR War Thunder gameplay? I mean, I definitely could. What kind of thing are you thinking? I could try it for sure. Um, would you at any point travel the world? Maybe if I was going with someone. Yeah, it wouldn't be an impossibility. Could be kind of nice. When are you doing a face reveal? Never. You don't want to see my real face. It's even worse than this one, which is saying something. Um, are you from Russia? No. Um, affirmative? Yes. When Mao's tank will be back at game, not sure. Maybe next year for the same event, maybe not. It all depends on what the team want to do. I can't say at the moment. People think I'm American all the time, even though I don't have an American accent whatsoever. But so many people constantly ask if I'm American. It's quite interesting. Does Gaijin have a career site for career? Yeah, they do. There's a careers tab on the website that you can apply to. Shouldn't M4A176 go back to 47? It is at 47, unless it's changed today. What's the most beginner friendly nation to choose? I always go with China because it has some really good lineups and there's a lot of different vehicles within China that you can pick. So you can simultaneously make powerful lineups and experience vehicles from other nations. So it's very forgiving in the sense, well, forgiving, it's very good in the sense that you can experience lots of different trees vicariously. Um, and I think that's a really good, well, it's a good ability to test a lot. Well, it's like a bite-sized. You get bite-sized chunks of lots of different nations in one go, and I really like that. Um, so I think China is a very good beginner nation. A lot of people like to have a bit of a cry about China, like a bit of a tantrum, but it's a really good nation for that. It's really good for starting out, and I think it's well worth going for as a starter nation, definitely. Absolutely. You should add your accent. Why? My accent's not that good. It's probably a bit annoying. Has a bit of everything. Yep. Um, Hey, Scott Thomas, thank you. I really do appreciate that. I'm glad. I'm glad you enjoy it. I mean, that's why I make it. Really, it's all as long as you enjoy it, I'll keep making it. You know. I got school now. Wish you a great day, Oxy. Wish you a great day too. Have a good day at school. Thank you for coming in. It's nice to see you. You got this. Um, what's your favorite type of tank? I'm not sure. I like sort of underdog vehicles or vehicles that aren't necessarily kind of easy to use, like non-meta stuff. Like I like, well, at least I get the most satisfaction from using a like a bad vehicle well than like using an easy vehicle well. Um, I really really like that. Uh, so yeah, vehicles that are a bit unconventional, like a bit weird. I um I really like that. See you next stream, Mr. Grant. Have a good week. I think Oxy is made of Oxy. Not sure. Perhaps it's not an absolute 100% confirmation, but there's some Oxy in me for sure. Some of it. I love you too, wholly and unreservedly. What's your favorite American ground pounder? I'm not sure. Maybe the XP55 or the early P47s. Maybe. Not sure. Have you played the Horo? Yes. Greetings from Poland. Greetings from Germany. Hope you're doing well. Can I use nuke? Yes. Does your country have its own Thanksgiving? I don't think so. Although I'm not really that well integrated into German culture, so I can't really say. I don't think it does, but I don't really know. Is it still possible to change loadouts mid-match in ARB? Yep, as long as you're fully repaired and you're on the runway, you can J out safely and change your loadout. Definitely. Greetings from Finland. Greetings from Germany again. Hope all is well in your country. Would you say any nation is overdeveloped? Not really. I mean, it's. I don't really know how to quantify a nation as being overdeveloped. Because for that you'd need some kind of baseline of peak development, which I don't think is really something finite. That's more of like an abstract question, I guess. Um, there are certainly some nations that are more developed than others, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Um, it just means that other nations maybe should get some more attention. How is it possible that I killed the CV modern Swedish tank with the 57mm IGO? Because, I mean, the IGO code can penetrate it at a good angle. That's certainly possible. Oxy is from Inglamf. Yes. Um, ever wish to visit the armor museums in whatever country you can travel to? Yeah, I'd like to. I'd probably need someone to go with. But I would quite like to go to some museums. I'm a fan of that. I want to go to some more art galleries. I miss that. Um, I quite like art galleries, but no one ever wants to go with me, so I don't end up going to them. Are you planning to release plane vids? Yes, I'd like to. I want to find a way that can kind of quantify an aircraft in a more effective way, because it's not. I don't think the same approach to making tank videos would work for planes. So I want to figure out a way that works best, and I would like to in the future. Um, so yeah, I'm not sure when that will be, but I would like to. I would like to for sure. Do you have your own YouTube decal? Not yet. I might in the future, but not right now, unfortunately. What is the rough timeline for Israeli tank release? I can't speak to anything unreleased, unfortunately. It will probably be the next update after this one, if I had to guess, but I don't know. I have no idea. I'm moving to Berlin next year. Cool. I hope you enjoy it. I've heard it's very nice in Berlin. Nice run with the M18, by the way. Thank you. This was like a 16, 17 kill game. Yeah, it's quite nice. I do like the M18. It's a very fun one. Which is better in AB? I-185 or LA7? I'd always go with the LA7. LA7 is one of the best props in the game from my perspective. I really, really like it. Really good plane. I'd always recommend it. I may disappear in a few minutes. We're nearly done 2 hours. I won't stay um, for too long just because I have a bit more stuff to do today. So I don't want to spend too long. And I've already spent a while here today, so um, I may vacate soon, perhaps, but we will see. We will see. Are you allowed to come to Thunder Show? What do you mean? I just checked back. M30176 is 5.0. It's probably, I think it's 5.0 in arcade. It's not, it's 4.7 in RB. Because the mobility is not that much of a detriment in AB, I can see why it's at 5.0. But it might go down to 4.7. I think for RB it's okay. For AB, I'm not sure, but it could probably go down and not be broken. Will Gaijin fix the tank barrel going through walls? It's not really something to fix because it's intended how it works. It would be, I mean, I think people think they want barrels like having collision, but you don't want that. You really, really, really don't want that because it would be so tedious for the sake of no tangible benefit. Um, it'll be, I guess, look more realistic, but it would not benefit the game or gameplay whatsoever at all. Um, I'm a Brit in Vienna. I've got art galleries coming out of our wazoo. Very nice. I want to go to the Dali exhibition in Berlin. Um, the old Dali exhibition in London, the original one, was incredible. I loved it so much. I saw the Dali exhibition in 2018 in London, the new gallery that was there temporarily. Again, that was really good. I want to see the German exhibition before I leave. Not very big, I think, but they've got some really good work in there. And so I'd really like to see some of his stuff at the Berlin exhibition. Um, advice on the Shermans. As to not waste too much time, I would recommend watch. I did make a video on YouTube on the Shermans on Rank 3 America. I would watch that because it does better to explain how they work than what I can do here. So that's what I would do. Just to save time. I mean, I could probably try and explain it, but I think it would be more concise if you watch the video, as that's more tailored to a kind of viewing experience. You know. Well, you later, my friend. I must help my father smoke 5 turkeys. Best of luck. I hope that goes well. Gonna go sleep now. Thanks for the stream. Have a good day, Oxy. Greetings from the Philippines as well. Well, sleep well. Hope you have a nice night. Thank you for coming by, and I will see you soon. Do you stream weekly? Yeah, so this Monday stream is weekly. We do one on Thursday as well with Mike, and an enlisted one on Friday as well. But we may do some more in the week in the future as well. So there may be some more in the future, but we'll see how that goes. Couple more questions, and I will vacate for the day, I think. Hull MGs aren't still going to be added, right? Maybe in the future they will be, but I think as long as a tank has one working MG, then that's okay as far as I guess the team are concerned. Because going back and adding animation takes a lot of time, and that's resources and time that could be spent on getting new vehicles and that kind of thing. So because it's not like an absolute requirement, I don't think it's a priority. But at the same time, I can't really speak on if it's going to happen anytime soon. Are you working on fixing ghost shells? I mean, by proxy, yes, but not as sort of absolute. It depends. I mean, personally, I've played a huge amount since the update, and I've not had a single ghost shell. I'm not saying that to say that you aren't experiencing them or you don't have them. I'm sure you are experiencing them. But it's a hard thing to fix because it's not an issue for everyone. I've had literally none since the update. I think a lot of people have had none as well. Some people probably have more. It's not as simple as fixing ghost shells. It depends on the people and how much information they can provide. But yeah, it's always something that's going to be worked on. But as to how frequently that can be, as a sort of developed in terms of what information people have or the team have in fixing it, I'm not sure. Greetings from Morocco. Greetings from Germany. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for coming by. Appreciate. Why is your controls weird for aircraft? I don't know what you mean. They're not weird to me. I'm sure that your controls for aircraft would be weird to me because they're not what I use. Controls really, there's no absolute best for what you can kind of use. It just depends on what you're comfortable with. In that a control setup that you're comfortable with is better than anything else, really. The main thing to keep in mind with your controls is to make sure that the keys you use most are closest to your hands on the keyboard. But apart from that, it's whatever you prefer, really. Is there any plane that you personally like to see come to War Thunder? Okay, I'll make this the last question. I like weird stuff, and the vehicles that I would like would not fit the game very well at all. I would like the YB-35 and the YB-49, JU-390, that kind of thing. Like really big bombers I find cool. I don't think they would fit the game whatsoever, so I don't want them in the game, but I would want them in the game. You know what I mean? So that's probably my pick. Yeah, that's probably what I would go for. Anyway, it's been quite fun. We have done 2 hours, but I would usually... Ow, my chest. I would like to stay for longer, but I do need to go and do some stuff later today, so I will need to vacate for the time being. But yeah, thank you very much for being here. I hope it's been a somewhat okay time today. And I will... Ghostly, yes, final point. Flying Flapjack, Pancake, make it happen. Yes, absolutely, love that plane. Anyway, yes, thank you all very much for being here. It's been really nice, and I will see you on Thursday.